my name is Vilma and I am a knitter from Finland, and today I want to talk about my spring knitting plans. So, previously I made some autumn knitting plans last autumn, and the takeaway from that experience was that I picked out 8 patterns to knit. And for me personally, that was way too many, because now in February I am still knitting those same patterns, when my original idea was that those would have kept me busy for 3 months from September to November. So this time for spring, I picked out even fewer patterns, trying to keep it really realistic and hopefully knitting up all of these patterns. So I want to bring up my kind of overarching plans for 2025 at this point, because those will of course affect my spring knitting plans as well. And those were that this year I want to knit more slipovers. If I buy new yarn, I want to prioritize local Finnish yarn. And thirdly, I want to knit patterns that I already have. So yeah, let's get into the patterns that I have picked for spring. Of course, I want to prioritize my stash yarn above new purchases, and like last autumn, I have gathered the stash yarn that I want to use into this plastic bag, and it is pretty full, which definitely motivates me to not make new yarn purchases, because I have so much yarn. For this spring, I have picked out 5 patterns that I would want to make. That includes 3 garments, 1 accessory, and then 1 something completely different, which I will leave for the last pattern. I want to start with the 3 garments that I'm planning to make. The first one is Columns by Thea Westerby, and if you are a returning viewer to my channel, you might remember this project from the early autumn, because I already have the body knitted. So I cast on the Columns sweater in August of 2024, and I put it into hibernation in early October. So yeah, I have the body all done. All I have to do are the sleeves and the neck, and then it's finished. So I'm pretty happy and pretty confident that if I start working on this in March, I should have it to wear for most of the springtime, which would be lovely. And I do have the pattern already, well, because I've knit it, of course I have it. I have it in the Line magazine from last spring, so this is number 20, and it's the pattern on the cover. And I'm knitting the size 2, and the yarn that I use, I have 3 balls of it left. It is the Drops Baby Merino Unicolor, and this is a superwash 100% merino wool, and the color is 24. It's this very light blue color, and I I have to say, on the top of my head, I don't remember what size needles I used for this project. Okay, I used probably 3.5, 4 millimeters, and then 3 millimeters for the tighter cuffs and such. So yeah, that is the columns sweater. One more time showing the project and the yarn that I have. So that's like a half-finished project that I want to finish this spring. The next pattern that I want to make, I also have the pattern already. It is in the Pohjolan Neuleet special number, special number of the Laine magazine that came out last autumn. And let me find the pattern that I want to make so I can show the picture of it here. Yes, there we go. It's the Tuku Warmer Slipover by Tiina Huhtaniemi that I want to make. And I think this one I'm going to make in size 1, and the yarns I'm going to use, just a moment, of course I put these yarns at the bottom of my handy dandy plastic bag. These yarns were a pretty recent purchase, but they are still already part of my stash. So I'm going to use 3 skeins of the Tukuwool DK yarn in the colorway Manna, with 3 skeins of the Isaer Silk Mohair in the shade 6. So I'm going to make a beige slipover. So yeah. Then the third garment that I want to make, I already have in my Ravelry library, because this one is a free pattern, and it is the Musso by Espace Tricot. So this one is like fingering weight. It's holding 2 lace weights yarns together, and this very sort of light flowy looking garment. And for that one I have these 2 gorgeous hanks by Hedgehog Fibers. This was the colorway Woodland. Really gorgeous colors in my opinion, and I'm planning to hold these together with the Knitting for Olive silk mohair in the shade Ballerina. So these together, maybe can I show them a bit better? I don't know. So yeah, this is a free pattern. It comes in English and French. All of the patterns that I've mentioned so far come in at least in English, and well, actually, yeah, both of them also come in Finnish and maybe in some other languages as well. But definitely everything so far comes in English. And I don't think I've looked yet which size I'm making of the Musso. I'm just quickly checking on Ravelry. Okay, I can't quickly find it. But probably, I mean, I'm usually a size 2, so I'm probably making a size 2. Oh, they have the sizes in centimeters. Sorry, I should have looked this up beforehand, but I didn't. Oh, okay, so I think it's going to... Is it supposed to have a lot of positive ease? Oh, of course now I can't find the information quickly. Well, but the size ranges from like the bust circumference of 105 centimeters to 183, which to me sounds pretty good. So yeah, I don't know yet which size I'm making, but with these colors I'm sure that it's going to be lovely. So those were the 3 garments that I'm planning to make, and the one accessory that I'm going to make is a gift knit. I promised to make a pair of mittens for my boyfriend, and I'm just going to use a free pattern from Novita Knits, so that's going to be a Finnish pattern, but I think the Novita Knits, like, what would I call it, database? Their, you know, website with all the free patterns, it's such a good resource. Like, if you just translate the web page to English, like just on your browser, like you shouldn't have any problems using those free patterns. So I'm just making a pretty basic pair of mittens, but I do have a bit of an issue with the yarn, because my boyfriend liked this yarn from my stash the most, this kind of dark purple yarn, but I weighed it and this is definitely not enough for the mittens. So I have 2 yarns of the same weight, these sort of browns, and I have to ask him if he really wants the purple. I could match the purple with one of these, or then I could just knit the mittens entirely in one of these colors. So that is still up in the air, but mittens will be happening in spring. And then the last pattern of my spring knitting plans is going to be a toy. That is going to be the Baby Dinosaur toy by Claire Farrell Designs, and it's available on Ravelry. It's also part of a magazine, Simply Knitting number 233 from January 2023. I think I'm just going to buy the pattern. And so for the dinosaur, I'm planning on using Cascade 220, this dark green color for the body. Let me check on the label the number. This is the color 1036. I think, if I remember, it might be called chives. And then for the little, what are they called, like spikes going down the back of the dinosaur, I'm going to use this light green color. And yeah, I've knit one toy before, and I think knitting toys is pretty fun, and it's something completely different from knitting garments or accessories, because you're doing very different construction. So I'm actually really looking forward to it. I don't know yet if I'm going to keep the finished dinosaur toy or if I'll find like a gift recipient, but from my experience in the past of knitting a toy, it was really easy to find like the family of a friend's friend who was thrilled to have a toy for their child. So yeah, I'm really excited about knitting another toy this year. So those were all of the 5 projects that I'm planning to knit this spring. I'll put all of them on the screen now to kind of visualize what I'm planning on making. And now I want to touch on a little bit my autumn knitting plans, which got really out of hand. So as I'm filming this in February, I have cast on 7 of the 8 projects that I decided to knit last autumn. I have finished 2 of them, and so I still have 5 whips. Wow, that was a bit too much math for me, but I think I nailed it. Yes, I have 5 whips right now. I think I'm going to bring most of them, maybe 4 of them, to the spring. Like I want to continue working on them at least in March, because some of them I feel like are pretty close to being done, and some of them I just really enjoy knitting right now. But definitely one of them I am going to hibernate, and that is the Keris Slipover by Mary Wallin, because I'm just feeling a bit overwhelmed by it right now, and for me also sort of full-on color work, it feels very autumnal, so I don't feel like working on that in the spring. So that was all of my plans for right now, for the springtime and what I want to keep on knitting. And I would be really curious to hear if you have any spring knitting plans. Do you enjoy knitting seasonally, or do you just knit whatever you want? And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!